Never fear of missing out by clicking that subscribe button and becoming another member of the Babylonian family. BabbleOn is now partnered with Raffled Up, the one-stop shop to have the chance at scoring yourself some great tech at a low price. Raffled Up has made over 1,800 people happy with their competitions, ranging from store credit, GPUs, VR sets, and even full-on PC rigs to take your game into the next level. Keep your eye out for mega bundle competitions too for your chance to win several £1,000s worth of gear, all for less than the cost of a chippy. If you fancy your chances, make sure to use our partner code in the description below and save yourself some money while also supporting us as a channel. Best of luck and enjoy the content. How is it going, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Rays, and I'm back to bring to you another legendary guide, and today we are looking at the Spirit Hunter bolt action sniper rifle. Now this thing it's pretty decent to look at, but what we're more interested in is the stats and obviously its tier 3 mod. And today this one has the ultimate bone shrapnel. Now Technomancers, I know that you're familiar with the tier 2 version of this mod where killing shots will get obviously detonate and obviously deal area of effect damage. Well, as the tier 3 mod actually activates on critical shots instead and detonates and inflicts another 203,542 damage and inflicts bleeds within a 5-meter radius. Now this one does cool down every 3 seconds, so obviously you won't be seeing it as much. But I think that's kind of balanced with the fact that you can do this off criticals because of how often you can do that, and the fact that I've paired this with Embalmer's Rage, where every single shot after I've got a killing shot is then a critical after that. It would be a little bit overpowered if every single second it was able to do that massive area of effect damage, and you're going to get to see some of it in the background as to how effective this really can be. Just well, granted, I am doing a CT10 as with pretty much all the weapons that I actually cover on this channel, so obviously they have a lot less health. So there is a chance that Bone Shrapnel is able to finish them off in just one go, but obviously it gives you an idea as to how big the radius is, how much it can actually damage them, and how effective it is at just being able to clear out a mob. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that I had a frustrating time trying to use this gun. I initially thought I was going to go into a CT10, find it really easy, just breeze through everything, and obviously just wipe everything that's in front of me. Granted, it's a sniper rifle, and obviously as with most of the other guys that have been snipers, you do tend to struggle a little bit with obviously having to deal with a clunky scope and being able to pull off those perfect shots, and obviously not having the follow-up shots as much as you would do if it was an assault rifle, an SMG, or a shotgun. But this one was okay. The fact it's a lightweight variant means it has a faster RPM than most of the other bolt action sniper rifles, which is a very nice touch. But the main thing that really frustrated me is that there was a time where I genuinely felt like all my shots were not connecting, and it was almost like there's a delay built into the gun. Now, I don't know if this is the case with all sniper rifles, and that probably would explain with the fact that I've obviously had a bit of a struggle fest at certain times with this, but it almost seems like there is like an input delay in terms of when you pull the trigger and where the shot actually does end up going. And I've got this clip in just one of one that I ran where I died on the chem plant just before I did this one, and obviously you can see where the shots are actually going. Obviously I am tracking the enemy, but instead the bullet is ending up behind them every single time, and it's kind of frustrating, especially when it's like a shotgun one that's running sideways to me, and obviously was able to close the gap and finish me off. On a CT10, obviously I was kicking myself, but it is kind of frustrating. I don't understand why that is the case when pretty much all the guns that don't have scopes are hit scan. Why is this not the case? So hopefully that addresses an issue, hopefully that addresses a bug. If it is, then hopefully it's a really simple fix, but yeah, it was frustrating as hell to be able to encounter that, especially during some testing. Sums up my negative experience when using this gun, but obviously, like I said, I don't know if that affects all sniper rifles, but just keep in mind that if you do actually plan to use that the tracking on this and the bullet delay is just a bit off, and it will affect your aim. So if anything, I do feel like the mod is pretty much what makes this gun legendary, at least for the time being, until that actually does get fixed. I would stay clear from using this sniper rifle if you are intending to actually use it as a precision weapon from far away, and using it as an actual Technomancer kind of weapon in that kind of sense. Now, obviously the gun does roll with different things, so this one is no exception. Obviously it runs this one runs with armor pierce, so you get a nice 30% bonus there. You get status power, which then affects the bleed that obviously you're inflicting, and obviously if you're playing as a Technomancer, obviously the toxic as well, so that's kind of negligible. But it also does roll with long range damage, which is quite nice. Obviously because it's a sniper rifle, you do intend to be able to use this at long ranges. Now you can use this at close range as a hip-fire machine. Because it's a lightweight variant, and because of the amount of damage it does kick out, and because of its mod, it actually is quite good as a panic-firing, kind of like a hip-fire machine. Which, like I said, you'll see some of the stuff that's in the background. That there are certain times where I get rushed by the melee kind of enemies that are out in Kempland, and I just ended up going, I can't rely on the scope, I'm just going to have to try and hit fire, and the mod and the gun just did some work there and obviously deleted it. Now, that worked in CT10, and obviously I am trying to show this gun off, but just keep in mind, obviously, as you go higher in the levels, that as enemies get more and more health, obviously that's not going to be a viable tactic. So if you're looking to just play around or just help a friend with a new character out, just to be able to get through those lower levels, you can get away with it. But obviously when you get to like CT13 to 15, it's just not worth it, and in which case I would actually advise you to steer clear of this rifle altogether. We'll touch on just a couple of those tier mods that are actually quite good to be able to pair with this. Now, Ultimate Bone Shrapnel is quite nice, obviously it does go off critical shots. The instant pairing that's god tier with this is Embalmer's Rage. If this is the gun you are planning to use, and this is the tier 3 mod that you are planning to use as well, then Embalmer's Rage will get you so far. The fact that you don't have to get a critical shot in terms of like shooting the head, or obviously shooting the ribcage of Broodmothers, for example, just to be able to activate that critical shot, you can actually just get yourself Embalmer's Rage, give yourself that extra 300% damage that you're obviously doing with your actual rifle damage, and then being able to trigger the tier 3 mod is just perfect. It's a shame it doesn't roll with extra crit damage instead of armor pierce, but obviously that's kind of negligible. In fact, you're getting 300% crit multiplier on a 13,000 rifle, just for a level 86,000, is still pretty nice, and you can't complain in terms of the damage aspect when it comes to that. But obviously, because it's a sniper rifle, it does fall down, especially for Technomancers as well, and you are better suited for assault rifles or something of the sort. And that, Babylonians, pretty much sums up the Spirit Hunter. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, I hope you've learned something useful, and I hope you do take note of that bug when it comes to the bullet velocity and obviously the trigger delay and all that kind of thing. I hope that does actually get through to a few people, because I don't want people getting caught out by this and obviously dying the same way I did. So I hope you've learned something useful, I hope you've enjoyed the video that's in the background. If you did, drop us a like and subscribe. As always, I will remind you we are a partner of Raffled Up, so get yourself some raffle tickets and obviously get yourself a little bit of a discount by using our code BABBLE that's in the description of this video, and follow the link there to be able to help us out as a channel. I know Dan Waz is currently working on a little bit of an extra series that's separate to Outriders, so obviously keep your eyes peeled for something like that that's going to be coming out in the next week or so, and that's pretty much it. So as always, keep yourself safe, keep yourself well, and I shall see you on that next episode.